is Aderonke Olola. I'm presenting the structure and function of digestive system, the process of mechanical and chemical digestion, including the optimum condition for the enzymes involved, two named enzymes, explain the constituent of food group of a balanced diet, the sources. Digestion is the process of breaking food into its various nutrients, and then the nutrients are used by the body for assimilation, growth, energy, metabolism, respiration, cellular structural repairs, building up on replacement of the cells. This process of digestion involves the breaking down of food and beverages into fats, protein, and carbohydrates, and vitamins. Everything we eat and drink needs to be digested into much smaller form before they can be absorbed by the bloodstream, and so digestion takes place in the alimentary canal. And then the main organ and their function is what we are saying on the table. Gastrointestinal tract involves the mouth, the pharynx, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the rectum, and the anus. While the accessory organ, which does not take much part in digestion, but actually play a big part in the absorption of the vitamins and solubles, are the salivary gland, the liver, the gallbladder, pancreas. Mechanical digestion, the physically breaking down of food into ever smaller parts by mastication that starts in the mouth by the tearing of the teeth, chewing, grinding, and tearing into smaller enough particles to be swallowed into the esophagus. While the chemical digestion breaks down into small molecules by chemical action and chemical energy. It involves the enzymes located in the stomach. Though it starts in the mouth when saliva mixes with the food, the saliva has an enzyme known as amylase that breaks down carbohydrates, a type of protein that undergoes biochemical reaction to change one molecule to the other molecule, and chemical digestion occurs within the stomach with some happening in the intestine. The hydrochloric acid is produced in the stomach that works for the purpose of chemical digestion, and completely invisible process where starches are converted into simple sugar, and the pepsin turns large protein into peptide, which then turn amino acid for absorption upstream. When mastication takes place in the mouth and amylase is released with saliva, pharynx, which is a part of digestive tract, leads to the esophagus, and the epiglottis located in the pharynx closes for the food so that the food will not enter into the trachea while swallowing to prevent choking. The esophagus then connects the pharynx and the stomach with a small, smooth muscle that contracts in order to allow food to pass through the esophageal sphincter as part of the esophagus. And the stomach then holds the food after it has passed down the esophagus. Here, the stomach stores the food prior to being digested. The stomach secretes enzymes and hydrochloric acid so that the food is more digestible, and the stomach keeps the food from dumping into the small intestine all at once. While chemical digestion happens all in the stomach, here especially that of protein, secreting almost 2 liters of hydrochloric acid daily, which contains pepsin and other liquids that are a part of the gastric fluid. The gastric fluid is highly acidic due to the low pH of 1.5 to 2.5 and kills unwanted bacteria from food. Now, the stomach lining is coated with thick type mucus that prevents erosion of the stomach lining um, by the hydrochloric acid breaking down milk into glucose and galactose with pH level of 6, because if there's too much production of acid or less production of mucus, people get gastric acid. And so food that remains in the stomach 3 to 4 hours before the pyloric sphincters open will be allowed to partially digest food, both bolus, to enter into the small intestine. And this is the enzymatic reaction at the optimum condition that you can see on this table. Trypsin is the enzyme that digests protein at optimal pH of 8.7, while amylase is the enzyme that digests starch at optimal pH of 7. The small intestine has villi, which are small projections that increases the surface area of the absorption to take place quickly when food is broken down into a smallest form and easily absorbed by the microfilars. This, the small intestine has the jejunum, and the ileum parts. The jejunum takes on about 9 liters of fluid per day. The liver and pancreas play big roles in secreting substances that aid in duodenal digestion. The jejunum and the ileum do not do much in digestion. They are more involved in the absorption of the smallest form molecules and vitamins, that is, in the absorption processes. The liver produces bile and this bile is stored in the gallbladder. The bile gets back in the small intestine through the bile duct, and the pancreas then produces the pancreatic juice into the duodenum through the pancreatic duct to break down starch into sugar with enzymes called lipase for lipid digestion, amylase for carbohydrate digestion, and tryptase for protein digestion and absorption into the body in this small, simple, soluble form to the bloodstream via the walls of the small intestine. And the germ is further broken down by the secretion of maltose, sucrose, and peptides to form monosaccharide, amino acid, fatty acid, and glycerol, the building blocks of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. It's only in this form that the body can absorb the food that we eat. The large intestine and the colon has less nutrients. The undigested food material, cellulose, water left over are absorbed, and the rest are ejected via the anus. The rectum is the last portion of the digestive system, and it acts as a place to hold the stool before it's finally defecated or ejected from the body. Hence, the food injected via the mouth, assimilated as body blocks, absorbed by the digestive system, its waste product is then ejected out of the body by defecation. I'm going to be talking about the constituent of food group of a balanced diet and their sources. There are 5 different food groups that contain macronutrients and macronutrients in a meal. Group 1, meat, fish, alternate water, supply, protein, macronutrients, iron, and zinc. Group 2, bread, cereal, and potato, a good source of essential fibers and energy. Group 3, fruit, vegetable, are packed full of macronutrients, antioxidants, and high water content, and they present diseases, low cholesterol, keep the bowels healthy, and help digestion. Group 4, milk and dairy foods are rich in calcium to keep bones strong, and protein for muscle contraction. Group 5, food containing fats and food containing sugar. This group should be limited as they are high in calorie but low vitamins and minerals. Plant-based oil are rich in unsaturated food and fat. They are good. This is a table, my balanced diet table. Fruit and vegetable should have 40%, protein should have 25%, fat should have just 10%, while fiber rich carbohydrates should have only 25%. Thank you so much for listening. These are my references. You can cross check them, and then you can ask any question if you want. Thank you, and God bless.